Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic and a puzzle with some circles and squares in today. I'll explain the rules in a moment and beware of negative constraints. They matter, as I suddenly discovered when I clicked down, I left the notifications on, when I clicked down on the rule set and there was an extra line that may well matter a lot. Now, first of all, have you seen Simon Solving with Kurt Hugo Schneider, the legendary music producer? This was a video on the channel yesterday morning. It's really instructive to see how good Kurt Hugo Schneider is at variant Sudoku, given that he has a career and a very, very successful one in record producing, that he has a hobby. I don't know if I dare call it that. He's an international master level at chess, and yet he does these Sudokus as well, and he's phenomenal. Absolute renaissance man. It's a really interesting video, and I commend it to you. Now, what is also really interesting is the new Rikabi puzzle pack that Blobs has donated us. It's on Patreon, and do check it out. It's if you join us on Patreon, that is the March monthly reward. We're about just over halfway through the month, or through the period in which you can enter the competition, and we urge you to give it a try because those puzzles are fantastic. They're all Nurikawi based. And if you get used to digits counting cells until their view is blocked today, then you'll want to move on to that, I imagine. That is on Patreon, where there's all sorts of other content like connections videos and crosswords and all sorts. Do check that out. We've also, of course, got all of our apps which do feature various styles of variant Sudoku and indeed classic Sudoku. Loads and loads, approachable Sudoku, but the latest Fog of War Sudoku's excellent. That's there on Patreon. We've got, no, not on Patreon, on the links under the video, along with our merchandise and SVEN'S SUDOKU PAD. Check it all out. But the first link under the video is to What an Odd Sight by Damo89, who sent this to us. And I'm going to read the rules. So normal Sudoku rules apply. 1 to 9 will go in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Now, a digit in a circle is odd and counts the number of odd digits that can be seen in all orthogonal directions combined, including itself. So it looks horizontally and vertically and counts the number of odd digits, but when it reaches an even digit in any direction, it stops counting because even digits block the view. And as you might guess, a digit in a square is even and counts the number of even digits that can be seen in all its orthogonal directions combined, including itself, and odd digits block its view. Now, here comes the important and short line of rules. All circles and squares are given, and this might become important. That means that if, for instance, you had a 1 here with a 2 here, you could not have another even digit here because that 1 would be counting, if you were to put a 4 there, say, that 1 would be counting the number of odd cells it can see until its view gets blocked by evens, and it would have to have a circle around it. I mean, that's interesting. Haven't done a puzzle quite like this before. Well, I've done puzzles with similarities, but not that rule set. Give it a try on that first link. I'm going to start now. Let's get cracking. Right, I get to colour all of the squares blue for odd, all of the circles orange, sorry, blue was for even, orange for odd. And if you thought I was going to try this puzzle without colouring, you've got another thing coming. That was never going to happen. Right, I was just about to say this one doesn't work, but that's why it doesn't have a circle, because it would see this digit. Right, okay, I don't know where you start this sort of thing. This one is only counting cells in its column, and it's only counting 2 or 4 of them. Now, this one is going to be a bigger even digit than that, because it's going to count all the ones in the column, be they 2 or 4, and then some in the row as well. So that is bigger. This can't be the same digit, so it doesn't have as... It's going to count the same number of cells in the row, so it's definitely going to count a different number of cells in the column from the ones in this column. That's all I know. It's not really that helpful. God forbid that I meant to start with the counter rule, the negative constraint. This could see any number. I mean, it's important to know that we're going to get 5 oranges and 4 blues in every row, column and box. So there's only one more blue to come in box 5 here, but I don't know. Okay, this digit is not 1. It can't be 9 because it's never going to see that many. It's 3, 5 or 7. This could be 9. This can't be 9. Oh, 9 is very hard, right. The only way a 9 could ever be in a circle is if that odd 9 could see 1, 3, 5, 7 in its column and 1, 3, 5, 7 in its row. This one can't because it can't get enough in its column. This one can't get enough in its column, and nor can that. They're the same column, basically. This one could, in theory, be a 9. I suppose this one could if all of those were odd. It seems incredibly unlikely. And maybe I can't rule it out of those. Oh, I thought I was going somewhere there, and where I was going was a dead stop. Crumbs, I don't know how to do this. That can't be a 9 either, because it can't get enough in the row. I hadn't even seen that circle. Oh, wow, don't know. This is very hard to get to grips with. Oh, can you never have an 8? You can never have an 8 in a square. That's much more simple. Because the number of even cells an 8 can see in its row or column is 3, 2, 4 and 6. Plus the 3 in the perpendicular direction is 6. Plus itself is 7. You can never put an 8 in a square. Well, that's quite interesting because it gives me a 2, 4, 6 triple in the center, and now 6 must be in one of those cells, and one of these is seeing 6 evens, which is quite a feat. Because it can see 4 in its column, it must see another 2 in its row, so one of these 2 is definitely blue. Possibly both. It's interesting that there being one more odd digit than there are evens digit makes 9 possible but 8 impossible in the counting squares. That's quite amusing to me. It's not how you would expect. One of these is a 2 and is sealed off. It's probably that one. If that was a 2 and was sealed off by 2 odds there and there, this would be a 4 and that would be a 6. Then we would know exactly how could there'd be 4 there. It is possible for this to be a 2, just. It's maybe, okay, let me go through that again. It's possible for this to be a 2. It would be sealed off by an odd digit there. No, I was talking about this being a 2. Was I? I can't even remember now. That would have to be sealed off by odd digits in all of those positions. Right, this cannot be a 2. Because the odd digits in all of those positions would make this, well, by Sudoku that would have to be a 4 and that would be a 6. But that would be required to see 4 more even digits down here because of that being a 2. And you can't have that many even digits in column 5. So that's not a 2. So now we know where 2 is. I've got a digit. Just took me 6 minutes. That's not a 2 now. Now that's interesting, but let's start here. 4 and 6. So this one we seal off. That's done. This one is getting 1 there and then 3 in the row. Now I don't really know whether it's getting the extra one there or there, and I don't really mind at the moment, because what it's telling me is that there is 3 in that row, and this, oh bother, no, hang on, yes, this is not a 6, sorry. I was just wondering, could this be a 6? But it would have to have 5 odd digits in the row, and that's not possible. So that's a 4, that's a 6. And in addition to the 3 in the row that this 4 sees, that 6 has to see 3 in the column. So we've got all the evens in column 6. We've actually got all the odds in box 8. We've got all, oh, get right. We've got all the evens in box 5. And now we know where this 4 gets its 4th. And now we're off to the races, perhaps. Well, I don't know. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. That's an 8 to complete the even digits in box 5. We've got a 2 and a 4 here. Now, I haven't thought about the negative constraint. That's quite interesting. It's going to come up at some point, I reckon. That's a 6-8 pair. That's a 2-4 pair. I haven't thought about it yet. Really not thinking about it even now. Now, look at this cell. This is already seeing 6. So that is 7 or 9. This one is not allowed to be a 1 in the box, and that's been so since the beginning of time. Okay, have I run out of stuff now? This is going to be even. Sorry, it's going to be 4 or 6. Could get them all in the column though. It's not easy. It must get some in the column because it can only get a maximum of 3 in the row. 9 is in one of those cells in this box, and that is fixed, so that's a 7. Now that means that one of these columns or rows is going to be limited by a blue. Well, there's one more orange to go in one of those 3 positions. Now, what about this? This is already seeing 5, so that's not a 3. And 7, these are from 3, 5, 9, but they're not circled. One of these 2 is a 7 circle. 5, it would have to be going that way. Now, is that really plausible? Because otherwise we have a 7 circle going this way. That's quite interesting too. Because that would create all the orange in row 6. Whereas this one, oh no, it would be like that, would create all the orange in row 5. Row 4, that is, sorry. Ah, no, I've got all the blue done in column 5. So there we go, that's all orange. I don't think this can be 7 now, because wouldn't it have to end there? And it can't end there because of that being orange. So this is now a 5, and it does end where we see. So that's blue. These are a 3-9 pair, I reckons. That's a 7, and now we can colour all of these orange. This cannot be a 7 anymore, but it already sees 4, so it's a 5. Oh, this is happening now. So orange there, we've got all 5 orange in row 7. We've got, that's not allowed to be a 5, but it's at least 4, so it's 7. So we can paint them all in. Those 3 are orange. And that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that completes that, so that's blue. That's all 5 orange in box 2, so those are blue. We've got, what have we got? We've got 5, 6, 8 in these cells. So the odd one is a 5 and the evens are 6 and 8. I like it when it's that simple to deduce what a digit. That was a 7, wasn't it? We worked that one out. Oh, any more circles for any more? Don't know. This one's seeing 2 at least. This one has been a bit limited in the row. Can it be 7? No, it gets a maximum of 5 in the column and an extra 1 there. So that has to be 1 or 3. If it was 1, all of these would be blue. That looks just possible, unfortunately. Oh, this is meant to be 5, so that was orange, and I should have sealed that off with a blue there. Didn't think of that. Should have done. Now, this is only counting them in the column, so 1, 3, or 5 there. Right, I'm going to have to, well, I've still got some evens to do. That is either 2 or 4, but those two can't both be blue, or we'd have 5 blue in the box. So that one's orange, and that's a 2. Now, this is 4 or 6, and it's got to see, well, it can't be all of those 4 because we've already got a blue over there. We can't have 4 more. So it's got to get some in the column, maximum of those 2. It's got to get at least 2 more in the column. So that's definitely, is that right? That's definitely blue? Yeah, that is right. And I don't think this can be 6 anymore. Yeah, it can't. It's 4. It's going to get all the blues in column 9 and that to make up the 4. So I can seal that off as orange. One of these is blue, one of them is orange. That's orange because we've got all the blues in column 9 somehow. Now we can just count the blues in box 6 and write that in, and indeed it sees 2, 4 and 6. So that's orange. This is not able to be 7 anymore, or 1 actually, because it's got that to count. And it can't be 5 because it would have to stop there. So that's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight, proving its position. We've got all the orange in row 2. We've got all the blue in box 3. We've got, well, we've got 4 orange in row 3. So that orange is going to see 1 more orange to its left and right. So the count is 2, plus that is 3. Is it going to see 2 more and be a 5, or is it going to stick at 3? Well, actually, we can tell in this row, that's a 2, so that's orange. And now this is going to have to be, it's got 3 already, it's going to get 1 there, it's going to be a 5. So we can place 5 in row 1, it has to be in a orange cell. These are 1, 7, 9, actually I can place 3 in box 2. There's a lot going on here. 1, 9, I've just got a 7 to get up here somewhere. That's not a 1 anymore, so that's 3. That fixes 9 and 3. Now we've got 1 and 7 to place. That's a 6 in its column. That's a 2 in its box because of this. Then I can do that 4, 2, that 4, 8. Now, I didn't mean to do 4, 8. I said 4, 2, and then I got overexcited and put an 8 in. I can do this 6, 8 pair. Right. We are firing. These are all orange. That's just a count of the row. That 5 is now done, so we see blue there. This feels unlike, no, I don't know. I was going to say unlikely to be 5, but I'm not sure now I think about it. 1 might be there. These, no, that's the 6 in the row. That is 2 or 8. Now, do we know about this square yet? Not really. Oh, hang on, we can count this row. We need these all to be blue. Now it's already seeing 4, and it can't get 2 more because that would be too many cells in column 2. So that is a 4. This is where 6 goes in the box. That's an 8. That's 4 or 8, that's 6 or 8. This one though, C is 2 and 6, that's 4 or 8. So I was trying to type 6 or 8 here, but now I know it's a 6 because of this 4, 8 pair that I just created. Still got a few more to do. That's a 6 in its column, and that's orange. That fixes 8 and 6 here. I like that we get to do the Sudoku as we go along. We don't have to wait till the finish. This can't be 5 anymore, so it's a 1, and that's blue. And that's probably going to be instrumental. Oh, that 4 needs an orange there as well. Well, that helps. That's the last orange in its column. That's the last blue in its box. Over here we just need to count the rows and we can work out what is what. We've got up here we can't just count because we've got one of each in each row and one of each in each column. So we're going to have to do some numericals. What's this? This sees 4 and 6. Oh, I don't know. Interesting. To disambiguate the rest of the blues, and maybe even to get these cells, I'm wondering if we're going to have to use the negative constraint, which I have managed to avoid using yet, to my absolute pleasure. Right, I can write in, let's see how long we can avoid it. 3 and 9 there. Maybe all the way. I would feel so naughty. 1 and 4 there. Right, that's just Sudoku. So now we can do all the colouring. Orange here, I think, for the count. Blue there. And now that has to be an 8. We're going to finish off the blue numbering, I believe now. Yep, everything's coming. All the blues are done. This is a 3-9 pair. I don't think we're going to need the negative constraint. I've definitely not used it yet. And there's only so much of this puzzle still to go. Am I going to get away with it? What do you think? Place your bets. I honestly don't know if I'm going to get away with it. There is a good chance, I feel. Am I running out of steam now? That's 1. No, that has to be a 9. It sees all the other odd digits. That's good for me. 5 there and a 1-3 pair. Now that 3 takes 3 out of that cell. Oh, we are running out of steam a bit, but hang on. This can't be... Oh, it is. Oh, ooh. 8, 1, 2, 6, 4. Okay, I'm left with some uncertainty. I'm going to have to find a cell somewhere, I think. Okay, in this column we've got everything but 1, so that's fine. I'm going to first of all pencil mark all of these. Although that takes a lot of pencil marking in this box. And that really was a futile and fatuous exercise, perhaps. Right, I don't think I can do the rest by Sudoku. I'm not sure, but it's right that I don't. It's right that I don't get away with not looking for some negative constraints. So let's find somewhere. I haven't found anywhere yet. I've been looking around quite a bit. Let's find somewhere which doesn't have a circle, but which would have a circle. There we go. Look at that cell. That sees 5. So it's not allowed to be 5 because there's no circle. So that's a 9. Well done if you found that before I did. I didn't feel I was slow. I'm taking 5 out of those cells. That's the 5 in column 3. I mean, we may not be done yet. We may have to find another one of these in a moment. That's not a 1. I've got 3, 7, 9 down here. I don't think the rest disambiguates on its own. So I'm going to have to find another cell. And here's one. This probably won't be final, but that can't be 3 because it sees 3 and there's no circle. No. Is that enough on its own? It puts, no, I don't think it is. It puts 3 in one of those places. I'm going to have to find one more odd digit that, the trouble is I think I've looked at all of these. Have I missed one? That one. Yes, there it is. That would be a 7 if it had a circle. It doesn't have a circle, so that's a 1. And I think that might get us home, because I don't think there's any other cells involved. That's a really neat bit of work, actually. I wonder how the constructor decided when to put in a circle and when not. And was it in a similar way to how I've had to solve it? There we go. That's not too hard in a way, but you do need to keep tabs on everything and work out what you're watching and what you're seeing and which cells. That's a tough one somehow. No, it wasn't that one. It was this not being a 7, wasn't it? That's how we got to the absolute finish. Clever puzzle. What an odd sight it was by Damo89, to whom, well, to you I also commend Damo89. We'll see you again soon on the channel. Thank you for watching and bye for now.